Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how I go about the process of editing the digital orders that I receive and how I save those using Darkroom. So this is an example. Here's an order that came in. You can see here it's for 4 digital images. So what I do is when it's digital images only, I set those off to the side because they don't need to go to the lab. But in this case, and then as I mentioned to you, I think I print these off. And so, I have this actual order in front of me on my desk, but I just wanted you to see what it looked like here. So I'm going to go into Darkroom now, and I'm already, let's go back out to here. So this was from excuse me, the event that this was from. Let me go back over there again for a minute to the other view. So this number 0703 is the event number, which won't mean anything necessarily to you, but if you go over here to Darkroom, I'll show you really quick up here under schools. If you look at all of these are the current schools that are out there, and they each have a event number. I know this is Children's Place Preschool 0703. So I would write that down on the order itself, so you'd know. And then over here in Darkroom, you would go to Children's Place Preschool Spring under, in my case, the C drive. If you're working on a laptop, it would be the external SSD drive. And you would go to the preschool kids folder. You do F2. The first image is 2133, which I had already typed. Hit enter to select. And once you've got it, you go to the workshop view. In the workshop view, when it comes to the digital images, you always want to go to auto, which is 4:6 aspect ratio. So it shows you the full size of the photo that was captured. Occasionally, if a photo is like really way down, like this is nicely composed already, so I wouldn't even adjust it for a digital file, meaning I wouldn't make it any larger or move it right or left. It's just fine. So all I usually do is in the Enhance tab here, I usually over here use the little, whatever that is, triangle? Yeah, triangle. On the focus tool, which you can, if you watch the screen as I turn that on and off, it's not as noticeable in some photos, but it just sharpens it up. It's like the unsharp mask tool in Photoshop. So I usually use 5. Then I go to the correct tab. Now in this case, this looks really good on my screen. Sometimes I'll brighten the photo. Sometimes I'll use this A for auto contrast. In this case, let's just click auto contrast. You see, it didn't make much difference. I'm going to turn it off and back on. It amplifies the highlights a little bit, but I'm going to just leave it the way it is. And I don't think I need to even brighten it or anything. Again, it's always, I'd rather send a digital file that maybe needs to be brightened a little bit to print in case they're printing, but you want it to be pretty bright. So I'm going to just say that looks good. Once I've made whatever adjustments here in Darkroom, go back to the Enhance tab. I use the brush tool for retouching, and I think the laptop is set up to work this way, where it will open Photoshop on the computer. And once it opens in here, all you're going to do is click on this Save Retouched Photo tab. And you can see over here now in the thumbnails that it has saved image. This is the original 2133. It's now saved that image with a _1 suffix. And that's all there really is to it when it comes to doing these digital files. I'll try to find another one that's a little more advanced in terms of what it needs so you can see how that goes. So here's a photo that's also part of the same order. It's 2161, and you can see this one, there's, it's shot with quite a bit of empty space at the top. Once again, we're saving these as digital files, so always keep in mind that you don't want to crop in too much, and you want to allow whoever is purchasing these photos to crop them the way they want. But in this case, I probably would maybe bring it in a little bit. So this, again, you can do a couple things. You can use the scale tool here. If I press this maybe 4 or 5 times, and then I raise it up because I don't want to lose the bottom of his shirt in the photo. And maybe about there. I do have the guide tools on, so you can see this horizontal line down the middle. He's positioned, most of his body's positioned evenly. His head's off-centered, but that's okay. But sometimes it depends. Sometimes I'll move things around a little bit so that the head is more to the center, like I just did. This becomes sort of, subjective in terms of what you do. But I just did that. I'm going to do the focus tool again. I'm going to go over here to the correct tab and just to show. In this case, it really looks good the way it is. That adds a little bit of depth, I guess, or contrast, which is what it's called, contrast, to the photo. So either way, I don't know. I think maybe I didn't do the other one, but now that I see this one, I might do it, and then I'll change the other one. So the other thing is you want to be consistent across all the pictures in one order. So keep in mind, whatever you do on one photo, you're probably going to want to do the same adjustments on the other ones for that order. You will see, though, that if it's a close-up photo versus one like this, like a 3/4, there may be a difference in how bright they look. So just keep that in mind. Pay attention to that as you go through. For now, though, I'm just going to do that autofocus, but I don't think I need to brighten it any more than it is. The other tool I sometimes use is the shadow tool, which actually, if you do the plus, it adds brightness more or less around the outside, but not so much in the middle. But anyway, I think that looks pretty good. So once you have it the way you want it, I don't know if I did this in the first one because I was explaining what I did and then I forget what to do. So you want to hit save as a new photo. So you can see here now it created it as an EDF file. And then you go to your Enhance tab. So you want to do that with every one after you make your adjustments. Then you go to the Enhance tab. Then you use the Retouch brush. And sometimes on my machine, it will not even open the window in Photoshop. It'll just, like it did just now, it just popped up with this. I don't even need to see the photo in Photoshop because I'm not going to make any changes. But this is another point I should make. Like if the kid's got a scratch or some chunk of food on their shirt or whatever that you want to fix, you can of course do that in Photoshop. So this would be the time you would switch over to Photoshop and do whatever you need to do. And then if you did, like here, I'm not going to, but if you did, once you're finished with what you're planning to edit or correct, you just hit Save Photo, and it'll take you back into Darkroom. That's it. Okay. I'm going to pause this because it's getting to be almost 10-minute video.